In this video, we're going to create automated YouTube chapters for my videos. Now, if you guys didn't know, I create a lot of AI related videos on my YouTube channel. By the way, if you're not subscribed, please feel free to do so. And oftentimes when I upload my videos, I have a very strenuous time of making various chapters for my videos. Now, typically these chapters may look like this. I'm pretty sure you guys have come across these types of small checkpoints in the video. However, they take a lot of time for me to make that. Now, because I'm a very lazy person and I'm a programmer, I was thinking, what if I could just use Python to create these chapters for me? So it can create any videos that is like this into a chaptered videos that people can easily navigate, and it would probably help my searchability on Google. So how can I do this? So I was thinking, what if I take a YouTube video and I start generating transcripts, and then I ask it to divide the video into X number of chapters. This can be inputted from a Streamlit or a web UI interface. And then I call an OpenAI or any LLM endpoint, and then I generate chapters per time or with timestamps. And then I can just copy that and paste it on my YouTube videos. Now, let's make that happen. By the way, if you guys want a website like this and you guys don't really want to code, please let me know in the comments and I can make a website for you guys and make it up and running in no time. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to install these Python packages, and then we are going to make a function to load an API key. Now, this is going to be using the OS function or package, and it's going to load the environment key from a file called .env, which we can find here, which then we're going to pass on to the OS environment OpenAI API key. Now this API key will be defined over here, where you're going to have some API key which looks like this. And you can get it from the OpenAI dashboard. After that, we are going to get transcripts from our YouTube video. So we're going to import YouTube Transcript API and import RE, which we will use to extract the video ID from a YouTube link. So here's a regex pattern that will match from the YouTube link and return a video URL, which will return a video ID. After that, we're going to extract the transcripts from our video. And to do that, we are simply going to define a function called extract transcripts. We're passing the video ID, which we get from this function over here, and then call the YouTube Transcript API and get the transcripts in the English version. Now, you may need to look around the documentation to see if it's supposed to language you want to work with. And then, to make our lives slightly simpler, we are going to, or slightly better for the model we're going to use, we're going to convert the seconds into minutes using a for loop. And I'm going to quickly show you guys how the output looks like at the end. So here we have the function. Now we're going to call this function to extract our transcripts from a YouTube video. So extract transcripts, here we pass in the video ID, which we get from this function, where we pass in the YouTube link. Now I'm going to be using a YouTube video of mine as an example. So here I pasted in video URL, pass it in over here, which will return the video ID, and then in turn will extract the transcripts for us. And at the end, sorry, it seems like I used the wrong video link. And there you go. Now we get a list of different dictionaries with the captions or text and their appropriate time. Now these times over here, as you can see, they are in minutes and not only in seconds, which will help the model understand which time or which text is for which time. Now for the a bit more interesting part. How do we pass on all this information to the model to get our chapters? And to do that, we are going to make a function called generate chapters with OpenAI, which is going to take a transcript and number of chapters, where you can define the different chapters you want to have. Over here, we have a default value of 5, which means any video that you pass in will create 5 specific chapters for that. After that, we're going to create a function called a sanitize text. Now, this function may not make sense right now, but I'm going to go through that very soon. We're going to take the transcripts that we get from the previous functions and then create captions with only the text. And for that, we're also going to sanitize each captions, which will improve any inconsistencies we may have in the text. So for example, some of these texts can have double quotations and some have single. And that's kind of what I've observed how the API reacts. So for example, they have a double quotation over here and some of them have a single quotation. So we want to standardize that and remove any confusions for the model. And then what we do, now we actually have to do some prompt engineering, quote unquote. Here, with the help of some really nice AI tools, you can use ChatGPT or Anthropic prompt to create a fancy prompt where you pass in the captions that we collect over here. You pass in the number of chapters you want for these captions, and then we are going to get a very nice output, or hopefully a very nice output that should look something along the lines of this. Now we're going to pass this as a prompt to the model. And for the model, it should look like this. We have a response that we get from the OpenAI client. We call the GPT-4o Mini. We pass in the messages for a system prompt, a user prompt with the prompt we created. And then we also write a cheeky, always start a new chapter in the new line with the correct format, just for some added safeguarding. Now, at the end, we will return the chapter summary from the messages we get. Again, logically speaking, this looks quite straightforward, and it kind of is. Now, the reason why it's giving us a wrong error is partly due to the indentations, and also it's just probably going to return an error if we run it because we don't have, or we haven't really imported OpenAI. So let's quickly do that. We can import OpenAI, client, OpenAI.OpenAI. Super confusing, but there we have it. And now if you run this, it should work flawlessly. And there we go. Now, let's actually test this thing. So we're going to take this exact thing over here. Now with the extracted transcripts, we're going to pass this onto the model we've created. So let's just pass this in, and we're not going to pass in the chapters. Let's just put 5 chapters as default. And now we should be able to see some output from the model. Now it seems like it's complaining for some encoding. So I'm just going to quickly look through that. So I had some brief problems with some tokens and stuff. So now I put everything in place. And now once we extract the transcript from our video, and then we just pass it into this function that we just created, and we just run. And there we go. There we get the answer. Now all that is left to do, as you can see, is wrap around some tags and some new lines and everything. We have to clean that up real quick. So what we're going to do, we're going to create another function that will be called formatting chapter timestamps. And simply all that is going to do is format everything and just break it up into new lines so that we can read it much more nicer. So simply we just have a 5-line function, or even less actually, and it's just going to write down a very nice string. So we just call that, we name this AI chapters, and pass it on over here like that. So now we get a much more clearer or cleaner output. Now to kind of make this into a complete package, we'll make a nice function for it. We should look something along the lines of this. We have something called a process YouTube video. You pass in a video URL, it does all the different steps and outputs a very nice print output. And there you go, that we get a nice output. So all that is really left to do is to make our interface. So we're going to create another chapter called interface.py, and it should look something along the lines of this. Now I've taken a lot of help from ChatGPT and many other resources online, and simply you pass in a input where you pass in the YouTube link, and you can have a checkbox to select the number of chapters you have. And all that is really left to do is simply write streamlit run interface.py. And there we go. Now we should get a output. Now, as you can see, this is complaining because we don't have a module. And that is because you have to export this into a specific file. So all you guys really have to do is convert this notebook into a Python file. So you just export the entire thing, and that's really it. So I went ahead and modified this file to work exactly the way I want it to be. So now all that is really left for us to do is just run this code again. And there we go. We pass in a video link, and it should generate exactly the videos we want to have. So for example, let's just copy this link over here from my other screen, and bang, it should process the video. And then at the end, we should get a nice output. All right, guys, so that is a quick video on how to make automated chapters for YouTube videos using Python and OpenAI endpoint. Hope you found this video insightful. If you guys did, please subscribe. I make similar videos like these. And by the way, if you guys want access to a solution like this, I can make it easy to make this into a website that you guys can use very easily. But let me know. All right, guys, have a nice day.